Hi, it's Gianna Thomson here from Thomson Wealth, sharing you with some hacks on how to use superannuation as a tax haven. Because I have been working in superannuation for 20 odd years, so I'm going to share with you some secrets I've learned along the way. So today is part 2, where we're going to talk about how using super to reduce the tax on your investment returns. In part 1, we spoke about contributing money into super and how that can save money on your tax return. So I'm going to show you an example with Jane, who's earning 200 grand a year. She's in her 50s, still working, and the differences in tax on $1 million of assets, the very same assets, compared to if she were to keep the assets outside super at her highest marginal tax rate, compared to if she had those investments held within the superannuation environment. So the first thing we need to understand is how super actually works. So here's a trick, right? So superannuation is just treated as a box, okay? It's actually a type of trust. Now you choose, you actually have choice of how you invest that money. You can put all in cash, all in shares, a diversified portfolio. You choose how you invest. So for this argument, for this example, Jane has got exactly the same $1 million portfolio in super versus outside super, okay? So she's still working, and in this example, she's in the accumulation phase. Now, when you are in accumulation phase and you're still contributing to your super, the tax rate is maximum 15% on your earnings, okay? So if she had $1 million and she got a 6% return, then she earned $60,000 that year. If she is paying highest marginal tax rate of 47%, she's actually paying tax of over $28,000 on her portfolio outside super. If she had that same $1 million inside super and the maximum tax rate that she's paying is 15%, so her tax is now reduced right down to $9,000. Okay, so keep that in mind. Let's fast forward 10 years. So Jane is now in her 60s, she's retired, and she's rolled that money into super. So realistically, her money would be more than $1 million by that time, but let's say, just for the argument's sake today, it's just we're sticking to $1 million. That same assets, now, that 15% tax rate has dropped down to a big fat 0. So she's got $1 million invested, but a 6% return, earned 60 grand that year. She's not paying any tax on that money whatsoever. So she's saving herself over 28 grand a year in earnings. So, which increases her net return and how much money she has for retirement. So there are rules around super, such as when you can access it. For example, generally you need to be over the age of 60 and fully retired or change employers, which I'll speak about next in our next tip. Gianna Thomson from Thomson Wealth here, sharing you some hacks on how to use super as a tax haven.